It's important to have the right level of research when choosing the perfect location. So first of all, Andrew, how do you go about this, and what factors do you take into consideration for the next location of a KidZania?
We look at location both in a macro sense and a micro sense. We look at the market itself, and for us, our very basic threshold criteria is a population of about 5 million people within a 60-minute radius, 700,000 children, high per cap GDP or discretionary spend capabilities, and have to make sure that the market itself can support the KidZania business. Our locations tend to draw somewhere between 600,000 and 1 million people, and if you just don't have a large enough population to draw from, it's not going to be a successful concept. Then we have to look at the individual location itself on a micro level, and we look at a variety of factors, including transportation access, parking capabilities, drop-off capabilities for school children, access to and from street, signage capabilities. So we really do a very detailed analysis of and feasibility studies and market studies for every location that we build.
And what about you, Wolfram? What are your first steps in looking for that chosen location?
We use traditional techniques, obviously, like market research, to see what the appetite is in each of the markets for our product. On top of that, we very much listen to our customers, because being, for example, at London Westfield, we very much see or have an idea from which regions around the world customers come and actually like and appreciate our products, which we now found the Middle East to be, especially Kuwait, Dubai, and so on, being a classic one, where almost 40% of our customers come from in the UK. So this is very much a driver of where we then see our business developing. And last but not least, we very much, being an entrepreneurial company, like to work with people, and we like to work with developers or shopping centers, or in fact airports, which are enthusiastic about our product. For example, Munich Airport was not on our radar initially, and they have been so enthusiastic and inviting that we said we go there, and it's turning out to be a massive success.
Justin, the last 12 months have been a complete whirlwind and roller coaster for you, haven't they, in terms of finding the appropriate way to launch your first centre. What stage are you actually at, and what opportunities are there for people to get involved?
Well, I have to say that I probably learned my biggest lesson last year at MAPIC, when this kind gentleman next to me uttered those 3 words, location, location, location. Because we launched the business, or first conceived the idea about 18 months ago, with the view to be opening in late 2010, or by summer 2011, having the first centre open. And when we started off, we were being offered some great locations. Then some better ones were offered. Then suddenly the international opportunities presented themselves. And then we started to rein things in to say, actually, we need to make sure that the first one is correct. We've had a number of institutional and private investors interested in the business. And we're specifically now looking back at the UK for launching the first centre, probably 60 to 80,000 square feet, and are currently talking to a number of more entrepreneurial private equity and institutional-based investors and debt partners for actually funding that specific location.
From a landlord perspective, Jody, can you give us an insight to that perfect tenant mix? Is it good to target different groups together, and what is the ideal anchor?
We haven't seen all of the new projects yet that are coming up to speed, but I know that KidZania, for example, tends to bring in a family and a wide range of consumers. I think having the iPILOT when you're bringing in a male customer is a good point, because they tend not to come to centers as often, or certainly not want to spend as much time there. I think clustering leisure isn't a big experience, because it makes it a place for a family to come, and they come on a regular basis when you have a cluster of them, because they might try one activity on one day, and the next time they come, try another activity. So when you can cluster them as projects, for example, like Xanadu and Spain has, it's a real added plus for the shopping center. And sometimes it also gives them ability to be open on Sundays trading, which isn't always possible.
It's also about building relationships with the customers and engaging them in a retail environment that ensures that they will keep coming back. How do each of you do that in your own way?
KidZania has to be focused on staying fresh. if you go, and I'm sorry if I'm beating up anybody who owns a bowling alley or a skating rink, but if you go to any one of those, the experience is the same every time you go there. At KidZania, we specifically design our facilities to have a ton of activities to do. First of all, we have 100 different activities that you can do at KidZania. In the course of a 5-hour experience, which is how long your ticket buys you time there, you can get through 6 or 8 of those activities, which means there's still over 90 other activities for you to be able to do. Then we also change out the activities that we have there so that we can do variations on the same theme. We're always changing the content and trying to keep it fresh. And we also change out the physical environment by requiring each of our marketing partners to refurbish on a regular basis. So in order to drive high repetition, you have to keep the concept fresh. Our revisitation rate is probably one of the highest in the world at this point. We average 3-time annual revisitation, which for a theme park, which is the category that we're in, is astronomically high.
We, of course, try to people who that customers who are coming in to take a flight experience with us, which very often come for a 30-minute initial experience, to make them hungry for more. And we explain to them what other airports to fly to. And we recently launched a flying club where people can make a virtual type rating, which allows them to get better acquainted with the working of a 737 aircraft until they actually earn their virtual wings, which makes them a type-rated simulator pilot. And also word of mouth is a big driver of our business. We see that one of 3 customers actually come on referral from past customers.
Jody, what about your thoughts on enticing customers back into the shopping centres?
Fortunately, there's the basic services needs that they keep coming back when you've got the hypermarket component. But beyond that, I think the retailers themselves can continue to ramp up the experiences in the stores. And whether it's, for example, take a Williams-Sonoma in the U.S. who's going to have visiting chefs and cooking experiences within the store, whether it's you take another leisure operator as well, that I think of Urban Golf in London, who you can golf, I guess it's 60 different golf courses around the world. You're going to keep coming back and trying a different one, and you don't have to go so far. Of course, in shopping centers, again, because they take care of basic services and needs, but in addition to that, by adding those experiences, it's going to get the family coming back.
Justin, what are your thoughts on enticing customers back into the centre?
I wholly agree with Andrew, is being able to maintain the freshness of the product. So being able to ensure that you're budgeting appropriately for sinking funds and life cycles so that as newer technologies come to market and new experiences, you can incorporate those into your scheme. The other, and possibly more important, is developing that ongoing relationship with the customer. So in the first instance with Your World, people can visit website, they can go on the internet, they can visit the website, they can go to their iPhone applications, they can learn about different sports and activities. We can start to remove anxieties and build people's confidences as far as these urban adventure sports are concerned. So when they're in the centres, they want to take part. Using the RFID wristbands, we're monitoring, or people can monitor what activities they're taking part in. During a 2-hour experience, people will probably take part in 3 or 4 activities, meaning that there's the potential for no 2 visits ever to be the same. And it's really, whilst we're not intended to be the institution of each of these sports, we're really starting to create that community.